Hi everybody, this is Pull Through 2, a Tunisian Crochet podcast, and my name is Ben. Today I would like to answer a question that a commenter left me on my post page here on YouTube. And if you don't know about the post page, you need to go check it out, because that's where I post things in between videos for you to read and see and have a little bit of a conversation with me about. I'll post a link to the post page so you'll know where to go down in the video description. I'm looking over here because that's where my laptop is. But before I do that, before I read you her question and answer it, let me show you a finished object. Check it out. A hat that I made. Now, why did I make this hat? Because I don't wear hats. I've tried over the years to wear beanies and other hats. Most other kinds of hats, I don't like the way they look on my head. Beanies, I kind of like. I like the way they look. However, I can't stand the feeling of something wrapped around my head, something hugging my head. So I've made lots of hats over the years, and I don't wear them. I'm weird like that. So I think I'm going to end up donating this hat. Last year, the Yarn Craft group that I organize here in my town, we did a charity hat project. So we made, it was almost 100 hats. It was something like 90 hats. Some were crocheted, some were knit. I don't think I did any Tunisian crochet ones. I did some knit hats, which I made over there on my circular knitting machine. And we donated them, one to a shelter, and also, well, both went to shelters. One is a homeless shelter. The other shelter is a shelter for women getting out of escaping abusive situations. Yeah. So I think I'm going to just start making some hats again for this year, for next winter. I think the reason I like making hats sometimes is that they're small projects that I can finish pretty quickly. I mean, if I don't have anything to do one day, I can do one in a day. I just really don't have that kind of time these days. So I'll get through a hat in like 2 days, maybe 3 days, an hour here, an hour there, that sort of thing. So this is one of my fallbacks when I want a small project. So I think I'm going to do some more of those. What's on my hook? I'm still working on this blue and gold Tunisian crochet mosaic scarf. Yeah, so it's getting long. It's almost done. I need to add maybe about, I'm going to say about another foot, so that it'll be long enough to be able to wrap around really nicely. Yeah, but it's almost there, almost done. So now on to this commenter's question. Let me pull my laptop a little closer here. Okay, so this comment and question came from, it looks like Marsha M 6653. She wrote, "Weird question, I know, but do you know how to knit? I learned, I think around 2011, 2013, not entirely sure. I'm not sure if it's easier to get the look of knitting via Tunisian crochet or actually knitting. The tension is the issue for me. I believe my tension has relaxed a bit, but not enough for me to get a satisfactory result. If you do knit, did you learn Tunisian crochet to get the look of knitting? I know, too many questions, I'm sorry. Your work is amazing. I hope that once I am able to solve the tension problem, that my work is at least half as beautiful as yours. Have a great day and be blessed." So first off, Not a stupid question at all. Not a weird question at all. I thought this question was so good that I wanted to answer it here on video. And my answer is not scripted. I'm just talking off the cuff here. I'll first tell you that I first learned to knit. I've been knitting yarn crafting for, has it been over 30? Yeah, it's been over 30 years now. I learned first to knit when I was 12. I think was I 12? 11 or 12, wait a minute, what grade was I in? Yeah, 11 or 12, I learned to knit. When I was a kid, I used to watch this show, Little House on the Prairie. If you're around my age, you remember that show. And in one episode, Mrs. Ingalls was with some of the women from the village, and they were sitting and knitting together. Now, I didn't know what it was called at the time. All I knew is they had these 2 sticks and some string, and they were making clothing. And I just remember hearing them say, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. And it was just so rhythmic. And there was something about it that was so calming to me. And I liked it. So I went to the library, because I used to go all to the library at the end of my block at the neighborhood park all the time and read books. I was a big reader when I was a kid. And I told the librarian, Mrs. Jones, that I wanted to learn this thing that I saw on TV, but I didn't know what it was called. So she had me to describe to her what I saw. So I told her, well, they had these 2 sticks and some string, and they were making clothing. And she said, oh, baby, that's called knitting. And so she took me to that section of the library and found me a knitting book. And that's how I learned to knit. I taught myself from a book. About 2 years later, I was in the library looking at, knitting books and saw something called crochet. So I picked that up and taught myself how to crochet from that book. Had a bit of a problem because I couldn't quite figure out how to make the hook do what it was supposed to do. So my brother's wife ended up helping me. So she was very instrumental in me learning how to crochet. And a little while after that, I discovered in the book these special stitches that were different from the crochet stitches that I had learned earlier in the book, and they called them Afghan crochet. So what we now call Tunisian crochet, back then in the 70s and 80s, people knew it as Afghan crochet. And Tunisian simple stitch is what they called Afghan stitch. Yeah. So, it was just, I guess, by sort of accident going through that book that I learned those stitches. But everything that I made, both in crochet and Tunisian crochet, was very, very stiff, because you used to be told to use, these thin needles, basically, thin hooks, for the yarn, and everything just came out real stiff. And that was kind of the way people learned how to crochet back then. You would follow what was on the ball band, so it would give you a recommendation for a hook size. Today it's changed a bit, because there's a recognition that you needed larger hooks in order to get good drape. And the first person that told me that was Dora Ohrenstein. I told you about her in my last video. She's the one that wrote the Tunisian Crochet Sweater Collection book that I told you about. I discovered her, I don't even remember what the website was. I can't remember, was it crochet.com? It was an old website that no longer exists. And I really liked her work. So somehow I was able to find an email address for her, and I emailed her, and asked her if she could mentor me so that I could learn more about crochet. And she took me under her wing. And she was the first person that told me you need to use bigger hooks, because I wanted to make clothing, but I didn't want everything to be all stiff and thick like I was getting. So when I applied that to Tunisian crochet, oh my goodness, I was shocked at the kind of fabric that I was able to create in Tunisian crochet just by using, pardon me, bigger hooks than I was using before. So did I learn how to knit? Yes. It was the first thing that I learned how to do. I actually don't knit very much anymore. It's very rare for me to pull out my needles. I just don't like the feel of knitting. Don't castigate me, those of you who love knitting. Every now and then I will pull out my knitting needles, but I don't enjoy the motion. For a long time I did regular crochet, but it hurts my wrists when I do regular crochet. But when I do Tunisian crochet, no problem. I can go and go and go and go, and I don't get pain from it, and I enjoy the motion of it. So I didn't learn Tunisian crochet so that I can make things that look like knitting. I never thought that Tunisian crochet looked like knitting. Although when I make things and people out there, in the public see it, they think it looks like knitting. But to me, it looks different from knitting. Now, of course, Tunisian knit stitch looks like stockinette in knitting. So yeah, that can look like knitting. But the base stitch that, we typically focus on in Tunisian crochet, Tunisian simple stitch, or Afghan stitch as we used to call it, doesn't look like knitting to me at all. It looks more like something woven. So I didn't learn Tunisian crochet so that I can make things that look like knitting. Although other people think it looks like knitting. And I come across, over the many years I've been doing Tunisian crochet, people that either knit or crochet or do both, that will see my things. For instance, I was at the African American Art and Culture Center here in my town, and I was at a concert there, and I was Tunisian crocheting a ribbed scarf, a 2x2 ribbed scarf. So it's reversible, same on both sides. And this lady came up to me and she was like, "Oh, what are you knitting?" And she said that she knit. But then she kind of looked, she said, "Wait a minute, you don't have knitting needles, you just have a hook." She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "This is called Tunisian crochet." She's like, "That looks like knitting." So I recognize that to most people, they think it looks like knitting, even though I don't think it looks like knitting. So if you want to get the look of knitting, should you learn Tunisian crochet instead of knitting? Well, it's a choice. Some people do. Many crocheters who want something that looks more like knitting will learn Tunisian crochet because they think it looks a lot more like knitting. Certainly it gives you a fabric that is more like knit fabric than crochet fabric is. Because with crochet fabric, there's always those little holes between the stitches. It's just the way the stitches come together. You always have those little holes in between the stitches, and it's it gives a more textured look. Whereas knitting, you can have very textured stitches, but that stockinette just gives you that blank sort of surface look that we're used to seeing in clothing. Like, for instance, the shirt that I'm wearing. This is just a t-shirt, but if you look at your t-shirts, they're actually knit. They're micro knit, and you get that just clean, sort of blank surface that's really good for all kinds of designs and whatnot. So if that's something that you want to be able to create, Tunisian crochet is great for that. Absolutely. Now, when I do knit, I knit combination style. Um, I learned to knit English style first, where you throw the yarn over. And I've tried various types of knitting. Continental, I learned continental for a while. I didn't like the way you have to turn your hand down in order to do a purl. But when you do combination knitting, people usually say that purls are so much easier and that their tension is a lot better. So if you find that you're having tension issues with your knitting, maybe search for combination knitting on YouTube here. And you know what? I'll put some links down in the description too that teach you combination knitting if you want to give that a try. However, if you want to give Tunisian Crochet a try that too and see which you like better, Tunisian Crochet over knitting or vice versa. One thing about Tunisian Crochet is it is pretty fast, much faster than knitting. Some people even find that it's faster than regular crochet. It really is depending on all everything that you're doing. If you're using tall stitches in crochet, that can be pretty fast, but we have tall stitches in Tunisian Crochet too. So it all depends on what you're doing, but it's definitely faster than knitting. So there's pros and cons to all of the crafts. So I'd say give both of them a try and see what you like better. And thank you for your kind words about my work. I really appreciate that. We're our own worst enemies. I tend not to see my work as beautiful like other people may. I look at other people's work and I always wonder how they came up with such a thing. Their work looks so much better than mine. But then other people look at my work and they think the same thing. So I appreciate hearing that you like my work. It's a great ego stroke for me, and I appreciate it. It's encouragement to keep going. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I did doing this video from a different vantage in my place. I'm not one of those YouTubers that has like this beautiful home that's so photogenic. As you can see, I live in a very small space. I live in a camper out in the country. And as you can see, it's very lived in. So, there's some mess back there. So I hope you paid attention to me and not the mess. It's a lived in place. So, I hope that's relatable to you. So anyway, I am going to go because I should actually be doing homework. Today is Saturday, and my yarn craft group meets every Saturday during the middle part of the day, and it has been 9 hours since we had our meetup, and I haven't done a lick of homework. I told you last time that I work full-time and I'm going to school almost full-time too, and I have an assignment due tomorrow that I haven't even started on. Whatever I've been doing, working on this. I just felt the need to get into the rhythm. Tunisian Crochet for me is very meditative, and sometimes I needed to just calm my mind, and to just feel relaxed. So I was just enjoying that today. So now after I turn this camera off, I'm going to get into some homework. Cross my fingers. So you know what I want you to do? I want you to go and make something beautiful. Bye for now. See you later.